Hi, and thank you for joining me on how to make an eco-brick. It's a very, very simple thing to do. What it will do, though, is reduce the amount of single-use plastic going into your bin and therefore into landfill, and therefore creating CO2 emissions. The eco-bricks are great fun to do, little project for you and the household, and they can be used in projects in the community to make beautiful, beautiful constructions. So there's a few things you need. Number one, you need a bottle. It can be any size. 500 millilitres is generally easier to start with. We just tend to have a lot of these empty tonic water bottles in our house, which are a litre. So that's what I tend to use. You need a pair of scissors to cut the plastic. You need a mountain of plastic. This is a small selection. You're talking tops of yoghurt pots, crisp packets, biscuit wrappers. These are a big one in our household because I'm a bit partial to rockets. So salad packets. That was from feeding the birds with some peanuts. Ooh, that's a good one. Cereal, the inside of cereal packets. You can also use the netting from your lemons and oranges come in, or even bags for life that are past their best and not very, very good anymore. They're great because they're really colourful, and which can always, you can start the eco-brick off and give it a nice colourful bottom, because very often that's the bit that you see with the constructions, especially lovely sort of flower planters. That's the bit you'll see. So a bit more colour is really useful. So you need the bottle, you need the plastic, the scissors. You need something to ram the plastic into the bottle. I use this, which is a soft-handed or soft-ended wooden spoon. Obviously, for this size bottle, that doesn't quite reach the bottom. So I use a cane from the garden to really ram the plastic into the bottle. The final thing you need is a pair of scales, because at the end of the day, you're going to be weighing the eco-brick. It has to reach a certain weight and density in order to be effective. So storing the plastic can be a bit annoying. It has to be clean, it has to be dry. So if you've got a bit of yoghurt on the end of your yoghurt pot or the yoghurt plastic top, just give it a quick rinse, pop it on the draining board to dry, and then put it in your container where you're storing all your plastic out of the way. I use an old picnic basket for mine, which has a lid, which means I don't really see it all the time, but you can use a bag. It depends how much you're going to accrue, really. So very simple, the way you use it. You don't want to have the plastic too tight. It's very, very simple. It's very easy to think that you can just really tighten it. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad because it's really malleable. But if you've got some solid plastic like that and you're folding it, when that goes into the bottle, it's not going to allow you to really get air around it. So it's important that you cut that piece into smaller pieces. But simply cut it slightly, pop it in, and then you're going to use the end of your wooden spoon to ram it down. At the end of your eco-brick, it should be really, really compacted. So here's one I finished earlier. You can see that it's really, really solid. And when you come to weigh it, because it has to reach that certain density, if you think of 0.33 times the literage, so for this size bottle, it would have to weigh 330 grams with the lid on. Try and keep the label on to the very end and make that the last thing that you put in, because when you log it onto gobricks.com, which is a really wonderful international website, and we're all competing actually to see who can make as many eco-bricks as possible. They like to know where it's come from and whether it's from home or you've picked it up as rubbish in the park. So just keep that on to the very end, and also it tells you what the literage is, because some of them can be 1.35 and you tend to forget. So this one would have to weigh, with a 0.33, it would have to weigh 330 grams. This one, the one I did earlier, was a 500 ml, should be weighing about 170 grams. I managed to make it 190, so just fitted a bit more plastic in. So that's it really, very, very simple. I would suggest that you make a nice cup of tea and put your sounds on. It's really good listening to a podcast with a glass of wine and just make it a bit of fun. Happy eco-bricking.